This is the sound of the water and down. Everyone must know. Been here before, and we're gonna give you more. It's time to let it show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Next Level Thinking 25. This is a podcast I've thought about and I put together with regards to next level thinking, and quite weirdly, people ask me, well, what the heck is next level thinking? Well, I put something together here and I couldn't memorize all of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read some of this and just let you guys know what's going on and tell you exactly what next level thinking is to myself, what it means to me. It could mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but to me in general, this is what I wrote down, what it means to me. Now, it can be interpreted, like I said, in a lot of different ways, but my take on it is this, and I've kind of bannered myself as that guy that I want to help people, and I want to be able to give good advice to people, and I want to make sure that people are in the right frame of mind when they're doing things, and just, help them get ahead and, try to help people as much as possible. So here's what I came up with, and I got my glasses and everything so I can see everything. Next level thinking is the ability to think beyond the obvious and to approach problems in a creative and innovative way. It involves looking at things from different perspectives, challenging assumptions, and exploring new ideas. Next level thinking is becoming increasingly important in today's fast-paced and ever-changing world as technology advances and industries evolve. Those who can think creatively and adapt quickly are more likely to succeed. Now, with that being said, what I just stated there is exactly what I think the best thing that I put it into the words that I could do. In this world today that we live in, everything is fast-paced. Like some of the things we have now, this podcast, some of the internet careers and things like that. People have become so innovative and thinking outside the box. And obviously we went through the whole pandemic thing with COVID-19. That made people think way outside the box and they'll go take their thinking all the way to the next level. You have people that would never dreamed of making incomes online, and now they're doing income. They're built a livelihood off of a business that they created online. I have a couple of family members that have created businesses online. I try to patronize them as much as possible. And with that being said, there's a lot out there and a lot of things you need to be innovative about. I struggle sometimes because sometimes I'm always trying to find a new business to get into. And I'm always trying to, just have some fun and try to create a better standard of life for myself and my family with that, and then when I look at different things, I'm still struggling with it, but I've come a long way as far as that goes. And again, when you look at the world again, as we know it and how it's changing so fast, think about this. I'm 56 years old. And with that being said, years ago, this thing was not even around really. When I was coming through high school, we didn't have this. I can remember when I was in college, heck, I bought my mom a car phone for her car. That was a big blocky thing. And then remember Saved by the Bell. We watched Saved by the Bell. Zach, whatever his name is, Zach had that big brick phone. That was hilarious. And now we have something in our hands where we can literally control televisions, open our car doors. If you got a Hyundai, you can open a car door with this thing and do a ton of different things. You just heard me playing music. I'm playing music through my phone, through a speaker. So with that being said, it's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of ways you can take your thinking to the next level. Now, you got to be able to look at things from different perspectives and make sure that, you're being realistic. And it doesn't hurt to be a little unrealistic when you're shooting for your dreams. Goals should be a little bit more realistic. But hey, when you take your thinking to the next level, the sky's the limit. I mean, you look at Amazon. Amazon started out selling books, college books, and books in a garage. Now they're set to take over the world. So, the sky is the limit for whatever you're thinking is going to be. I mean, Facebook started in a college dorm. And now it's one of the, I stay in communication with a lot of my lifelong friends and associates via Facebook. So That's what next level thinking can start to can be. That's an introduction to what you're thinking and stuff with next level thinking. Now I'm gonna read certain things on here. It's a live video, so I'm gonna mess up some, and I'm gonna do some things right. But what I want you guys to remember, and one thing only, is that one of the things, not the only thing, but one of the things I want you to remember is this podcast is not just mine, it's yours. It's for you to ask questions, it's for you to comment, and I want it to be more of an interaction than anything else. I've given a lot of speeches, to different youth groups, to different groups in general, adult groups and HR groups and things like that, church groups. And one thing I always start college kids. Oh my goodness, college kids. When I start when I ever give a lecture or anything like that, I always start off with, this is yours, not just mine. I want you to be an interaction. It goes a lot smoother, and it makes things, a little bit more interesting, because the last thing you want is me sitting here talking to you. Now, also, what I will preface this whole podcast thing by saying is we're going to have different guests on the podcast. I have some friends. One friend who's a Grammy award-winning producer. I'm going to have some entrepreneurs on here. I'm going to have some people who have succeeded in politics on here. I'm going to have some people who have other people, not just a producer, but other people who have succeeded in music. Just not all the grandiose thing. There's going to be, that's my bird Pendleton. He's going to be doing a lot of input on this too. As you can see, he's not shy of giving his input on things. So I don't want you guys to be shy. If that bird can chime in on this stuff, you definitely can chime in on stuff. So with that being said, I'm going to take, this episode is mainly put together so that I can introduce you to Next Level Thinking 25. And also at the bottom of the link, at the bottom of your link there, you'll see a link that you can go and you can actually purchase some Next Level Thinking gear, kind of like this I have on. There's sweatshirts, there's joggers, there's hats, there's t-shirts. Thank you, Penny. there's branded logo NLT 25, so you don't have to have everything on your chest, but you can have that on there. And what's coming up soon, my shirts, all of my shirts and apparel will have something positive on the back. So let's kick this thing off right. And remember, this is your podcast as much as it is mine. I want it to be interactive. I want you to say some different things. I want to hear. If somebody thinks I'm going down the wrong road, I'd like to hear it. I'd like to talk about it. But let's be mature enough to respect everybody's opinion and then go from there. All right. Sound like a plan? Good. All right. So the other piece of elevating your thinking to the next level is challenging assumptions. And I'm going to read what I put down here. One key aspect of next level thinking is the ability to challenge assumptions. We often make assumptions without even realizing it, and these assumptions can limit our thinking and prevent us from seeing each other's possibilities. By questioning assumptions and considering alternative perspectives, we can open up new avenues for exploration and innovation. This can lead to breakthroughs in science, technology, and business, as well as personal growth and development. Now, with that being said, that's what I'm trying to get across to you guys. With next level thinking, again, think about this. We go through life and you can assume that I can't accomplish something. I don't have the training to do that. I don't have the time to do that. What you may want to think about doing is, hey, don't be afraid to step out on faith. I was watching something the other morning on the news, a Grammy award-winning guitar player. She went to New York with like $300 in her pocket, and she took a risk. I'm not saying you got to jump out there like that, but I am saying that don't be afraid to take a risk, to challenge yourself, to put any and all assumptions aside. Don't assume that you can't do something just because you've never experienced it. Take a chance, take a good long chance, and try to put yourself out there and go ahead and say, hey, you know what? This is something I probably can do. I may be able to do it. It might be a struggle, but it's something that I maybe can accomplish. If it's a dream, if it's a goal, go for it. Go for it. Don't be afraid. Hey, a lot of my mentors have told me, if you're real comfortable where you are, you're losing ground. You should always be in a state of being uncomfortable. So that means you're always moving forward. You don't know. You always want to be in a state of progression. Now, with that, also with another thing, questioning those assumptions, just making sure that we're on top of things. Don't limit your thinking by just accepting what's in front of you, accepting your lifestyle. You can always do something different. Like I mentioned before, I mentioned Google, I mentioned Facebook, I mentioned Amazon, and the way these guys stepped out. I mean, look at Apple. Apple started in a garage. Now it's one of the largest computer companies in the world. So you can look at these things and say, hey, wait a minute. This guy, they stepped out on faith, their own faith. And I'm not being religious when I say that. I'm just saying they took a chance on themselves. So next level thinking is having an idea, having a goal, having a purpose, and going for it. No holds barred, just going for it. Do what you think you can do. Get in there and do something. And like I said, again, this podcast, and I want to hear feedback. This podcast, let me tell you, if you have a comment, if you have a question about something, if you don't agree with something I'm saying, hit me with it. I love to talk to people about it. I love to go back and forth with people, not debating, because hey, I don't try to control other people's thinking. But what I do try to do is enlighten people to the way they're thinking. If they can go ahead and get something positive out of anything that I say, it's a win in my column. It's a win for them. I'm always looking to help someone. Now, as I stated, today is an introduction, and I'm talking about. I wrote down a lot of stuff that next level thinking means to me, and I want you guys to be able to input your own, your own spin on it. It may mean something different to you. You can take what I'm saying and kind of turn it a little bit to fit your life. I do it with religion, politics, some of everything else. I try to be as open-minded as I can. So it's just that type of world. So let me give you a little background on myself. Just so you know who you're talking to. I'm not some weirdo that just popped up out of the end of it, off the crater somewhere. Again, my name is Clarence Woods. People call me Clay Woods and all that good stuff. I was born in Massachusetts, and I grew up in St. Louis. I'm fortunate enough to have remained friends with a ton of my friends from high school. One friend of mine who was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame a couple of years ago, we all got together and we were there, and it was absolutely wonderful. It was almost like we were never apart. So I had that good fortune of growing up in St. Louis and having that. A lot of people say we're lucky. We talk about it from time to time and say, hey, we're lucky in this aspect that we remain friends, because I have some friends and some other friends that are not friends with their friends from high school. So I grew up in St. Louis. I went to a Lutheran high school, Lutheran North. Shout out to Lutheran North. And I played football and ran track. I tried basketball. I failed miserably, but I did become the manager. So I was on there for that time span. I was at Lutheran North all 4 years. I went to Normandy Junior High. Shout out to Normandy Junior High. I lived in the suburbs of Normandy. And I went to college out in Nebraska, a small private college out in Nebraska called Concordia, where I studied in business administration and management, and I minored in psychology. On top of that, again, played football, ran track, did not try basketball in college because they already had this team set. But I did, I was an All-American in college in football, which led me to the NFL. I was with the New Orleans Saints after college. I played wide receiver and tight end for the New Orleans Saints. So I've had a modicum of success in my lifetime. After that, I've had the opportunity to live in Europe. I've lived in the south of France. I've lived in Paris. I have had the opportunity to go back with my wife and visit London, Amsterdam, Switzerland, Germany, and all those good places. I was up in Canada for a little while trying to play some football up there. And then I decided, you know what, I need to put my degree to work. So then I went into corporate America, and there I was. I'm now one of the people in corporate America. But I did take up coaching. I coached for like 10 years at the high school level. And I decided that, I was done with that. And I don't see myself going back into it. There's a little bit too much exposure these days with the parents. They tend to want to have too much input on a game that they have a peripheral understanding of. So After that, I worked in corporate America for a number of years. I'm married. I have 3 kids, my son Derek, my daughter Veronique, and my daughter Gabriella. These are, these, and my wife Denise. These are people that are essential in my life. And I try to do everything not to embarrass them. Well, I do the dad stuff to embarrass my girls, but I I try not to do anything that is damaging or embarrassing to to my family name and stuff like that. I lost my mother last year, and that was tough. But made it through, and I actually try to live my life nowadays how she wanted me to live. My mother my mother was tough. I remember I bought a, so here's it, and when I said before about don't letting being assumptive that you can't do something. So my first house, when I bought my first house, my mother said she was going to buy it with me. And she was with me right up until the last 2 weeks. And then I called her and letting her know when the closing date was and stuff like that. And she said, you know what? I'm going to let you do this on your own. Now we're 2 weeks from closing. 2 weeks from closing. And I'm like, what? I didn't know what I was going to do. And she simply said, if it's meant for you to have it, you'll get it. You'll figure out a way to get it. And I did. I didn't do like a quote unquote conventional closing because I didn't have that much money up front, but the seller actually, gave me the money or front, I don't know how they did it, but I got the house. And, that put me on a path. I think my first endeavor into next level thinking, finding a way to do that. Now, and that leads me to the next topic the next piece that I talked about that I wrote down for next level thinking. The piece that I wrote down is next level thinking involves innovative problem solving. Instead of relying on traditional solutions, next level thinkers approach problems with a fresh perspective and seek out unconventional solutions. This type of problem solving requires creativity, flexibility, and a willingness to take risks. I discussed that a little bit earlier. It may involve trial and error, experimentation, and collaboration with others. However, the rewards can be significant, as innovative solutions can lead to increased efficiency, cost savings, and competitive advantages. So, as I was stating earlier, you don't have to do everything the way everybody else does it. Don't assume that just because you don't do it that way, you're not going to succeed. You'll succeed if you really want to find a way. I've seen too many examples of people not letting anything stand in their way when they put their minds together for a goal. So it's just one of them things that you gotta jump into, and if you want something, you go get it. You find a way. Like I said, I have some relatives there that have formulated some small businesses. Young ladies, one of my cousins, she's an outstanding cook. Outstanding cook. We went up to visit them a couple of weeks, last year. And the breakfast and the food in general that we had up there, she came walking through the door with, oh my goodness, it was pans of stuff. And I was like, you made this? You got up early and you did this? My goodness. So, and she's got her own plans for doing things or for following her dreams and her passions. If you're passionate about it, you're comfortable, and you love doing it, and you don't consider it a job, that's even more of a reason for you to succeed at it. That's even more of a reason for you to step outside the guidelines and go forward with this. Let me tell you something. If you don't find a way, you're going to regret it the rest of your life. You have to push forward, and you have to find a way to make your dreams and goals happen, or to become a success in whatever you do. It may be just you may have a hobby that you want to make into an artist or whatever the case may be. I guess I shouldn't say that. I should say that is a passion, that is a goal that you have. I have a couple of friends that are musicians. They're really outstanding musicians. I have a friend who sings in a group. They're outstanding. The man can sing. All of his boys can sing, and it's really refreshing to see live music after St. Clavios and right. If you're everybody familiar with Zapp or Roger Troutman, I'm a big Zapp fan. Roger Troutman. If you don't know about him, look him up. You'll see what I'm talking about. But real voices, real singing, like, like when I was coming up, and I know everybody that's older says that, well, the music when I was coming up, it was all that and then some. Well, it was real voices, and nowadays it's just a little bit different. Maybe I'm just not used to it. It could be, I don't know. But it's just that type of world that we live in now. So again, problem solving. Like I said with my house, I came up with a way to get my house without having to put a ton of money down. I came up to I got my second house almost the same way. It's just, we didn't have to I did put up a lot of money, but I made it happen. The house my second house that I got, let me tell you something. When you went through the front door and you closed the front door, you see light through the front door is cracked. So I had to replace the front door. But what sold me on the house was the stairway. The stairway was wide enough for two people to walk up it at the same time without, bumping all into each other. And it took me, 3 months or so to really get the house livable. I saw it. I saw a vision for it. I knew what I wanted to do with it. My wife helped me pick out the paint, and I went to Restoration Hardware and got the paints that were specialty paints and stuff like that. So it was really, really, really a good thing. But I saw something, I wanted it, we went for it, and we lived in the house for a long time, and kind of house shopping again. So, it's just one of those fun things that you want to do. So, but again, finding a way to get that house, finding a way to get my first house, those were innovative things. I mean, when I was trying to get into the NFL, it was hard. I mean, when I was working out, other guys were, going to eat at the calf and stuff, and they were like, "Yo, why are you working out?" So I said, "Dude, I'm trying to get to the next level, dude." And ironically, when I said that, then, I didn't think about next level thinking. This came after the fact, but it just goes to show you how that term, next level thinking, is something that can transcend a lot of different aspects and a lot of different events and things and time spans in your life and different projects in your life. If you take your thinking to the next level, you cannot lose. You cannot lose. Now, talking about traditional solutions, if you have, if you can make your dreams come true and you reach your goals and become a success going through traditional lines, some people do. I have a friend of mine who, he's a great friend, an absolutely wonderful friend. Worked for 20 years at a job, and you know what? Now he's retired. He's younger than me. He's retired. I was like, how stupid was I? but he's retired. He's living a good life. He's doing what he wants to do every day. And he calls me still talking about going to play golf. And I'm like, I'm working. I'm working, guys. So it's kind of a funny, back and forth joke we had going on, but I do find a way to play a cookie every now and then. So I don't tell my boss, but don't tell nobody. No, she's a kid. So, just don't think of everything that you do has to go perfect as well. Again, if you're finding a new path to do something, when you're taking your thinking to the next level, if you're trying to find a path to do something, guess what? It's going to be trial and error. You're going to go through some things that you normally wouldn't go through. And it's going to be one of those things where, you got to maybe take a step back to get 2 steps forward and maybe 1 step back. And then you finally and then you hit your stride and you're off and running. You may have to collaborate with someone else. Don't think you have to do everything yourself when you're thinking at the next level. Next level thinking causes you to think realistically. It causes you to take a real good self-evaluation of yourself and move forward from there. Now, when I say that, I see a lot of people that say, like, I tell you I coach football. And a lot of these kids were, it was back around the time Odell Beckham was with the Giants, and he made that famous one-hand catch with 3 fingers, and stuff like that. And so all the kids were out there trying to emulate this. And so me and a good friend of mine, he's a Super Bowl champion, and we were telling him, we was like, look, how often that dude practices and how many reps he goes through in practice and how much film he's watching on his opponents and things like that. And, I tell the kids, you got to put more work in, because kids, how kids are. They tend to, okay, I got to go to practice. You have to love practice. Just like with next level thinking, you have to love the journey more so than anything else. If you want to get to the next level and be a success at what you're doing, and a lot of my mentors have told me this, those two things: be careful, be comfortable being uncomfortable, and enjoy the journey. You got to enjoy the journey and the work and the trials and the errors that you're going to go through to get to the next level. And then when you get to the next level, the rewards are usually significant. I have some friends. I have a friend who she's in politics. Hopefully I'm going to get her on the show. She has done some astounding things, and her the whole essence of what she's done is it's a fresh, new, young look. She came in at a very young age and she took over, and she's been doing things. She refused to let people tell her, you got to do it this way. She took a new road. Now, was it popular all the time? No. A lot of the things she does, now I won't say a lot, let me back that off. Some of the things she does, they're not popular with people. But the end result, a lot of people are happy. I'm going to say 99% of people are happy. So, and again, I hope I get her on the show to tell you guys her story. She's a phenomenal person, really cool, real down to earth and stuff like that. I mentioned before that I coach football, and I have a friend of mine who's, I got two friends that played in Super Bowls and one that's in the Hall of Fame. And my friend who I coached with, we were telling the kids, they were like, well, how did you get to the NFL? It's like a lot of work. Like I said, when other people are chilling, you got to be working. You got to be pushing. Unless you're that ultra-talented kid. But even the ultra-talented kids that's going to last a long time in the league, they work. They put in the work. When I was scouted, the guy for the 49ers came and talked to me, and I asked him about Jerry Rice. And if you don't know Jerry Rice, shame on you. You should go not be looking at football if you don't know Jerry Rice. But Jerry Rice, he said, and the legendary story with Jerry Rice is that, he worked with his father with bricks, and he would catch bricks from his father and stuff like that. And I get it wrong, but they also said his work ethic and practice was phenomenal. So you wanna enjoy the journey, enjoy the work, enjoy the trials, enjoy the errors that go along with it, because the errors to you are adventures. They're a reason for you to move on to the next thing. And then the next phase I got is adaptability. And it says, I just put down here, next level thinking also requires adaptability. In today's rapidly changing world, there we go with the rapidly changing world again. In today's rapidly changing world, those who can adapt quickly to new situations and challenges are more likely to succeed. And this means being open to change, willing to learn new skills, and able to pivot when necessary. It also involves being comfortable with uncertainty and ambiguity, and being able to make decisions in the face of incomplete information. Now that's saying a lot, but that is how things are happening today. When I was in management, I would have 5-minute stand-up meetings, because the information is going to change quickly. It changes quickly, so quickly, especially in corporate America. You're getting so much data, and then not to mention what's happening in the world today with the internet, with, I keep mentioning Amazon, but they're changing the face of the globe. There people are making a lot of money off of Amazon that never made money before. So with that being said, it's just one of them things. You gotta be able to adapt quickly. You gotta be able to make your mind up quickly. You gotta be able to move quickly, and make sure that you are on the, I hate to be cliche with this, but on the cutting edge of information and what's going on. And you need to adapt to that information as it comes in, as quickly as it's changing, as quickly as it's coming in. You need to be able to function with it and do something with it. So it's that type of world that we're living in. And then Learning new skills. I talked earlier. If you don't know how to do something, don't be afraid to step out and learn a new skill. I set up this podcast. I didn't know how to use this light. Not that it's rocket science, but I see these people with these lights and stuff, and they on the TikTok doing the dances and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I never could do that. I'm too big, and my knee would give out on me in 5 seconds. So, but with that being, and all that coming into fruition, again, it states here, being comfortable with uncertainty. You don't know if everything's going to work. And cross your fingers and hope for the best. And you ride with it. Whatever you can do, you ride with it. And, you just push forward. I see Alex Kramer. Welcome, Alex. Good to see somebody else chimed in here, and somebody else is looking at me, here doing all this talking. Now, again, there should be a link. You should see a link in the video somewhere where you can click on and you can order any of your Next Level Thinking 25 gear. I like it. The t-shirts are really good fitting. They're really good material. The sweatshirts are off the chain. They are really, really they're good soft material and things. We also have sweatshirts. We have hats. And as I stated before, pretty soon these t-shirts and the sweatshirts are going to come with some positive verbiage on the back. My goal is to be as positive as possible for people, to give people an outlet and to expose them to the next level thinking idea, and letting people, giving people the idea that you don't need to be restrained by anything. You can make the most of any situation if you just take your thinking to the next level. Think outside the box. Take a chance. Be willing to deal with uncertainty. Learn some new skills. And get over those assumptions that you have that I have to do it this way. This way is what I have to do. Guess what? You can take that line and you can curve it around this way. If there's one adversity, and you curve it back around the other way. So you will make sure that you get everything out of your life. We get one life on this planet, and it's a short one by all things being relative. So relative. So make the most out of it, okay? Now, collaboration, another important factor. And I won't bother you guys too much longer, but we're going to take it on here. Next level thinking involves collaboration with others. By working together with individuals, you can bring different perspectives and expertise to the table, leading to more creative and innovative solutions. Collaboration also requires effective communication, trust, and willingness to share ideas and feedback. It can lead to increased productivity, improved morale, and a sense of shared purpose and accomplishment. So what they're saying is your next level thinking can help that next person get to the next level, and they in turn can help. So if you want to think back a little bit, another one of my foundations was Pay It Forward, a random act of kindness. This ties directly into that. It ties right into that. So you want to be able to put yourself in a situation where, and you hear a lot of the kids these days talking about, I want to be respected. Well, you do have to give respect in order to get respect. But when you give that respect, in the sense of working with someone, getting their perspective and running and helping them, move the dial on their life, it gets you more collaboration, and it builds your circle. It builds your circle and helps you, to, what can I say? It helps you to kind of grow your network, grow your group, grow your circle of influence. And that's one of the most important things you can do, is when you can help someone do something and you're not looking for anything in return. Don't get me wrong with that. You're not necessarily looking for something in return, but they're more likely to help you if you run into a jam, if you have a problem, if you run into something that you have to adapt to. Hey, having somebody help you adapt to something is a whole lot easier. So with that being said, you just want to be on top of all of your, your collaborations, your circle of influence, the adaptability that you have to different situations, and be a good problem solver and stuff like that. Now, also with the collaboration piece is what's what I'm looking for. So you get increased morale, because the more people you help, the better people around you are going to feel. So, and I've experienced this. I go golfing twice a year. The group of guys I go golfing with, we go to Myrtle Beach, and the guys that I go with, they're an outstanding group of guys. They're all trustworthy. Now, I'm not saying we all have the same point of view on everything. Quite frankly, we have some different political beliefs. But we're mature enough that, and we were just talking about that actually. I was just talking about this the other day. We're mature enough that if I'm wrong and I see your point of view, though, if I feel I'm right, but I can see your point of view, and we discuss it, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. I'm mature enough to say, you know what, you got a good point. Let's rock with what you're thinking, But we sit around and we talk about everything from family to politics, to religion, to just being butthead men and dealing with our wives and dealing with, our kids and all this good stuff that you deal with in life on a daily basis, how, cars and stuff like that. But again, we all don't see the same picture all the time. But if we sit down and we discuss it, we usually come to some type of mutual agreement. We either mutually agree to disagree on something, or you move forward. But again, having that collaboration with other people. Now, I know if I need anything, if I ever needed anything, they would be there for me. And without a doubt, they would feel bad if they didn't. We went to one trip. I didn't even know. We were down in Myrtle Beach and we were golfing. It was on my birthday. And I was with them the whole time. I don't know how they did that. Now, this is a small gesture, just a small gesture, but just goes to show the friendship that we have and how we get along. And we, excuse me for a second. I've been talking a lot. The good thing about me talking a lot today is going forward, I won't be talking that much because I'm going to have some guests on the show. And hopefully they'll be able to talk some, and we'll go back and forth with that. I plan on having a lot of young entrepreneurs on. I have one young entrepreneur coming up, and I'm sorry, I'm digressing from my conversation here for a minute, but I got one young kid coming up, man, let me tell you. This kid came out of high school, and I don't even think he knows the struggle. He knows that I know the struggles that he went through, because I talked to some of his support group. But this kid is phenomenal. He's when I tell you, when he comes on, I can't wait to brag about this kid. I really can't. He's outstanding. He's a really good-hearted kid. And like I said, I really cannot wait for him to come on just so I can brag about him and brag to his face, because I haven't really had the chance to. I told him he's doing a good job, but I haven't really had the chance to brag to his face about him. And he's another good kid. I got another. Hopefully, like I said, I'll have this young lady who's a leading individual in politics. And again, musicians, some, like I said, young entrepreneurs from, I have my cousins. I have several cousins that have started their own businesses, and I have another cousin who's looking to start her own business. And yes, I'm bringing the family in on this. So, I want everybody to remember and think about, what it takes to get to the next level. Now, again, Next Level Thinking 25 will be on. We'll be doing this we'll do it next Saturday, and then I'll be going every other Saturday, and I'll be sending out publications, sending out advertisement and stuff like that, and promoting it on social media, so you know what's coming up and who the guests will be. So now I want to finish up with my introduction to Next Level Thinking. The introduction that I have here. So one of the, in conclusion, Next Level Thinking is an essential skill for success in today's fast-paced and ever-changing world. There it is again, fast-paced and ever-changing. Adaptability, all that good stuff rolled into one. It requires challenging assumptions, innovative problem solving, adaptability, collaboration with others. By embracing Next Level Thinking, individuals can unlock their full potential and achieve greater personal and professional success. And I have to tell you, like, I saw something interesting that, you think of successful basketball players, you think about Michael Jordan, you think about Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley. You think about, Steph Curry. You think about, did I say LeBron? I think I said LeBron James. If I didn't, I apologize to all you LeBron fans out there. They talk about these guys, like, I heard the most interesting statement. Let me get back to the statement. I heard the most interesting statement the other day, and they said, you want to have the Mamba mentality. Oh, and the guy was saying, the Mamba mentality actually sucks. It's about me. It's about me. It's about what I want to do and the way that I want to do things, how I want to set things up, how hard I'm going to work. Well, what was he saying? He was saying, the Mamba mentality would be, I'm in the gym working 8 to 10 hours, and this guy's in the gym working 2. Why would I want to pass him the ball if he's not working as hard as I am? Because I can take the shot and I know I'll make it because I got muscle memory, and this guy is at that. So, it's just that type of mentality. It is next level thinking. It's not genuinely to what I'm talking about as far as being in collaboration with others and helping others and things of that nature. But it does actually say, I want to take everything that I earn and I learn to the next level. And all my efforts, I want to take them to the next level. So I want to be on top of that as much as I can. It also, it speaks to other mentalities that are out there, in the sense that you can do almost anything you want to do in this world if you put your mind to it and put your effort into it. So you want to make sure that you're pushing forward, you're taking advantage of opportunities. That's one big thing. A lot of people don't take advantage of the opportunities that they have. And that's surprising. That is really surprising. I've run into some individuals that, are happy where they are. My mindset could be my mindset, the way I'm programmed, the way I, do things. I may be set up to say, hey, it's just not how I do things. I want to always be moving forward. Some people are happy in the position they are. Some people, and you can't take that away from them. They've achieved what they want to do. They're living their life to the fullest. They've gotten to their next level. But for those people that are looking to do something, be outstanding, and and sometimes I take a look at this and I think about next level thing, and I'm like, ugh, am I being selfish with this? Am I being arrogant with this? Though, like I said, there are people out there that aren't the mega successes, and stuff like that, or that in their eyes they've achieved success from where they are, and I always want to progress to the next level, to progress above and beyond where I am. I always want to make a lot of money. Everybody always wants to make a lot of money, but one thing I learned about money is that you shouldn't put your whole effort and heart into it. Money gives you choices. That's all money does. That's all money does, give you choices. Me and my buddy were talking about it. He said, if you had a lot of money and you could say to your wife, we got a budget to decorate the house. And she asked you, what's the budget? You said, don't worry about it. Just spend what you want to spend. That's a choice. That's a choice that everybody wants to have. Every woman wants to have that. I know a lot of men want to have that too. Just have a choice of just doing what you want to do. Now, with that said, I'm gonna close it out today with, just telling everyone, take your thinking to the next level. Don't be handcuffed. Don't be restrained by your assumptions, your current situation. Get creative. Get out there. Do something, and have a great time. And and push yourself and enjoy the journey. Always enjoy the journey. And with that being said, I'll see you guys the next time on Next Level Thinking 25. We're doing it next week at 6 p.m. That's June 17th at 6 p.m. Where I go ahead and I'm gonna say it. It could change, but my guest is going to be he's a good friend of mine. I actually coached with him, but his name is Chill Shump with the Beat. He's a Grammy Award winning producer, and he did some production for Lil Wayne and a few other people. He's worked with French Montana and a couple other people. So, and he currently has got this program going that's outstanding. I can't wait for him to tell you guys about it. and talk to you about what it took for him to get there. I talk with him on a regular basis, almost weekly. We go to the same cigar shop. I do enjoy a cigar every now and then. But I talk to him weekly, and it's not a smooth sailing. Even though he has a Grammy, even though it's never smooth sailing. It's always going to be some type of adversity, but he always finds a way to overcome it. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time on Next Level Thinking 25, the podcast. All right, take care, and y'all have a great weekend. All right, take care.
Power on. Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.